Welcome to the channel. It's Monday the 22nd of June 2020 and welcome to the 2020 haymaking season. In this first part what I'm going to do is just introduce the fields that we're cutting here and basically what we do. We're a very small organisation, so if you're looking forward to looking at a big kit, big telehandlers, big balers, it's not going to happen here. We tend to use smaller machinery that's better suited to the type of conditions that we've got here, and tend to produce a high quality, low quantity sort of crop. Out here goes for horses, llamas, small animals. So we do make small bales, which is getting less and less popular in this country at the moment. But we try to produce something which is good quality off a relatively small area. So we're not looking at vast acreages. We've got about 4 acres here, another acre and a bit over the other side there. And we just come in and look after the land and then make the hay, get it into a barn. The ground here is it's some ground that was taken over about 3 years ago. It hadn't been used very much, a little bit of sheep work on it, and it's marginal, but it does produce a hay which is very low sugar. I normally would ideally like to be mowing when it's overcast, but that's not the way the forecast is at the moment. But that low sugar hay is very good for laminitic horses, and so we can actually charge a slight premium for that. The crop this year is pretty poor compared to last year. I think last year off this field here, I think it was about 360 bales. I'd be surprised if we get half that the way it is. And that's primarily due to the very, very dry May that we had. Thankfully last week we did have thunderstorms and quite a lot of rain, and that hopefully has spruced things up a little bit. But as you can see, the grass is already seeded, it's already headed. So the dilemma is, do you leave it a little bit longer in the hope that you get a bigger bulk, or whether you cut it now. The forecast is really good. This week the forecast is for dry, increasingly hot as the week progresses to Wednesday, Thursday. No sign of thunder showers to speak of, nice high pressure. So these are really ideal haymaking conditions, and it would be foolish to miss the opportunity. We do have access to a little bit more land further over there, which I'll get to another time, which is it's effectively a conservation area where it's on the woodland rides, where we have to leave that. It seeds naturally and we cut it sometime in August ideally. But this here, I think the best thing we can do is actually just get it cut, get the crop off, take what we can and try and get the quality rather than the quantity. It's always a dilemma with haymaking. I think I'd probably not be alone in saying that sometimes it's quite stressful. Trying to get the right conditions, not having to watch out for rain coming through, is really quite stressful at times. So at the moment, the fact we've got a really good weather forecast means, you know, for the sake of your sanity really, you just really need to just get on. What I might do with this is to actually overseed it later in the year, probably August, September, if the weather conditions are right. Get a little bit more diverse grass into it and try and get some more bulk. It has had some fertiliser on it. We test it to make sure that the amount of fertiliser we're having to put on is absolutely minimised. This has a 20-10-10 fertiliser mix on. We put about 25 kilograms per acre. And this time the test showed that we're a bit low on sulphur, so it's had 25 kilograms of sulphur, or just under, per acre on here as well. Trying to get that sulphur on at the right time is really difficult, because I think ideally you want it on at the tail end of the winter, sort of January, February, but because we had, like everybody else in the UK, never-ending rain, the field sat wet, and so if we put it on it would have just washed off. Absolutely pointless. So I think it waited until just into March and then put it on, and then we're starting to pick up the dry weather, so it did sit around a little bit. But in order to correct the sulphur issue, instead of just blitzing it with one load of sulphur that probably would do more harm than good, we're just going to incrementally top it up as we go along and see if that just rejuvenates it a little bit. There is a little bit of timothy in this, not a lot. We did scatter some in previously, But what you find with this is that it looks a reasonable crop from here, but there's no density to it, there's no bottom to it. There's a bit over towards the far side of the field near the woodland where, whether it's because of the shade or different types of grasses, it is a little bit thicker. But I think with this, it'll any sort of a breeze, it'll dry really quite quickly. So that's the general plan. What I'll try to do is to take you through what we're actually doing. I say it's not high-tech kit, it's fairly labour intensive at times, but we try to bring good kit as reliable as we can, but you just never know with any sort of machinery. The stress is always there that a hose is going to go, something's going to break, so we'll start off and see how it goes. It's just before 6 o'clock on Monday the 22nd of June, first day of hay time, and just a quick update. Everything's gone pretty well today for the big field mown, the smaller field mown, and also one of my neighbours has asked for another 3 acres to be cut just next door, so that has been done as well. So now I am just throwing out, just scaling the big field. It's drying okay so far. I don't think it'll take long to dry. It's not a big crop, so just doing that, and that should be it. Lock up, go home, and see what tomorrow brings. I'm very pleased with the amount of grass that was mown on the small field. That seemed better than I perhaps expected. The big field, it's quite thin. It's patchy. There are some areas that don't look too bad, so you just kind of hope that those areas do make up a little bit. The field next door for my neighbour is okay. A little bit. It's a bit of a roller coaster. I'm sure what function had gone on there previously, but it's quite up and down. But these drum mowers are perfectly capable of dealing with that. Just don't go too fast and keep an eye on it, not set it too far down as well, just so it doesn't get caught up underneath anything. But that has gone okay as well, so all good. Forecast is still looking good for the week, and we should be okay, but a little way to go yet. So that's day one. Good day, and we'll try again tomorrow. So I'll just film a little bit of the hay turner. You can just see there, it's a hay Lely 420. We've had it about 20 years. And it's a machine that's capable of spreading and rowing up. It's not great at spreading. It's a problem with any machine that is a bit of a compromise. When it spreads, it spreads it okay, but it leaves it in a bit of a row. It's not a perfect spread, but given the benefit of being able to just have one machine instead of two, it's absolutely fine. So given its age, I do tend to just go steady with it, particularly when you throw out the first load of grass. What you don't really want to do is put a lot of pressure on it, because you're trying to throw out really quite damp, heavy grass. So just take it steady, and then second and third time through you can speed up a little bit. But there really is no rush. I do find it's much better not to rush and to try and avoid the breakdowns, because the time taken to sort out breakdowns and the cost can be pretty bad. Not just in terms of the running about, but whether the engineers are busy, whether they've got what you need. It's just a hassle. So going steady, and even if it takes you a little bit longer, it's always worthwhile. The only exception might be is when the storm clouds are coming in, you've got to crack on a little bit, then it's worth a bit of a chance, but more often than not, just steady away on. So I just got this little corner left to spread, so I'll maybe just show you a little bit of that. Otherwise, that's it for today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you. So thank you very much for watching, and there's an advert coming up which is about the book that I wrote. It's ideal really for farmers, and it talks about our UK economy, climate change, biodiversity loss, and well-being. And it was written over the winter just prior to the start of COVID-19, and it looks at our negative legacy and what the actions that we've been taking and how that's going to fall on other people, both in the short term and the longer term, particularly our children and grandchildren. But I've used a scenario of a typical farmer, that everything comes from their perspective. So it's research based, trying to get the facts of each aspect, and then looks at where it was heading and where perhaps we could be heading to give us a better outcome. COVID-19 has upset things a little bit on some fronts, particularly the finances, but whatever happened at during the winter in terms of finances, it was pretty bad, and subsequently it's got even worse, but that doesn't detract from the book at all. So I'll leave a link and a picture, and if anybody wants to have a read, it's something like £10 for a paperback and £6 or less for the ebook. So have a look at that, and you might enjoy reading that. Okay, thank you very much.